Dreamscape presents Exiled, for all who wander the world seeking for freedom and peace, by César Vidal. Narrated by Lopez. Preface. When I wrote The Exile, I had in mind the exiles who have been and who will unfortunately continue to be among us throughout human history, in all ages and for all kinds of reasons. This is precisely why the protagonist remains anonymous throughout the book. He could have been any of the millions of people who have been forced to leave the land of their birth and go into exile to avoid prison, ruin, torture, and even death. The protagonist flees from a 16th century Spain that is in the grips of terror instilled by the Holy Inquisition. As early as 1518, the courts of Castile had petitioned King Carlos I for the Inquisition to become a court where, yes, torture continued to be used, but with restraint, and where the new arts of torment that the inquisitors so reveled in would be excluded. Those representatives of the people also requested that prisoners be informed of the charges against them, that they be allowed to have lawyers, and that they not be held in underground prisons with no light. They pleaded for these terms to be accepted because many innocent people were being convicted. Many were also leaving the kingdom, and this brought with it economic losses. The court procurators certainly were not asking for tolerance, much less freedom of conscience, but they did ask that an institution that committed horrific acts, sowing death and panic throughout the society, be tempered. Nevertheless, the Grand Inquisitor refused to grant a single one of the petitions, knowing that, as stated in Inquisitors' manuals, the fundamental purpose of the institution was ut metuant, that is, to create fear. If the totalitarian brutality, the ability to end lives and estates, and the power to perpetuate the curse on future generations were even minimally relaxed, the institution would not be able to maintain the iron hand with which it controlled the kingdoms of the Spanish monarchy. Because of all these circumstances, I placed my exile in Inquisition-era Spain as a reflection of so many others who lived in other ages, places, and circumstances. I also did so because on his way to freedom, the exile was living through a momentous historical event. The West was dividing into countries that embraced the Reformation and returned to the principles found in the Bible, and those that remained faithful to Rome and to the absolutist worldview of dogmatic.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?